Mandalorian is a 10 out of 10. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Season 2 especially. Jesus Christ. What a fucking excellent season of television.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
So good. Just so good.
And I know it has, and we're rolling, by the way. I know that The Mandalorian Season 2, Nick, who I'm joined by, my name is Jake. I know.
Seamless.
Right? Come on. That's an intro right there. I know you have some issues with Star Wars when it becomes too, like, narrow, right? Where, like, things are too interconnected, right? Like, I've heard you say that before.
Yes. Yeah.
And this
the Skywalker bullshit. You know, like, can we get away from the Skywalkers, please?
This season does have a little bit of that going on, but like, I don't care. It's good.
You know, it fucking works though.
Yeah.
Like, it's there, and it's kind of cheesy. Like, it kind of pulls away from the general story of the Mandalorian and baby Grogu or 50-year-old Grogu. But it works. You know, it actually they weaved it in pretty decently. I think it doesn't take too much away from it.
Yeah.
It also,
I agree.
It also keeps those other things going, such as like Clone Wars or whatever the other Mandalorians are from, the
Rebels.
Was it Rebels?
I think so.
The animated shows. It keeps the animated shows going, and it brings them to like a live action thing that maybe one day we'll see in movies or even more TV shows, which I'm okay with. At this point, I feel like TV shows are a better option than movies because they can tell a better story, and the budget that is being put into TV shows is much higher and much better than it was once in the past.
Yeah, I think Bo-Katan is from Rebels, right?
Okay.
I think. Whatever. We'll get corrected. No, we won't. No one cares. But yeah, dude, I fucking really liked it. I like the interweaving of these the newer old characters too.
Yeah.
The like, you know, obviously Boba Fett, but then the introduction of like Ahsoka, I thought was really fucking cool. And
yes, I love that episode. That episode is so like Last Samurai.
Yes,
it goes very into like the Japanese roots that Star Wars Jedis were supposed to be from, and it's, you know, it reminds me a lot of the fight in the original trilogy of the first Star Wars, A New Hope, where it's Darth Vader and Obi-Wan fighting, but there's like not a whole lot of motion. It's more about like sizing up each other and like kind of like parrying each other, and it's very like intentional. It's not flashy to be flashy. It's like, this is a dangerous dance that we're doing, and you get that in this, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah, dude, and like, dude, you're so right. Like that. Great explanation, dude. And
Thank you.
Dude, her fucking kick-ass sabers too. Like all my shit is so surface level. It's just like, dude, her sabers are so fucking cool.
Her sabers are so cool, or she lights them like this. Yeah.
And her fucking, dude, just the look of her too. Like the practical makeup's just.
Oh yeah, they did such a great job. The practicals in this whole thing, even with, what do they call it? The volume. The way the volume is set up is so well done. I don't know how they seamlessly like made those sets. Like I know they put like real dirt on the ground, but then they've used the volume, and I don't know how they've, like, when I look at it, I can't tell that I'm not looking, like, I can't see the separation between real and fake, you know?
Yeah.
And that's really cool how they did that, how they managed to pull that off.
Well, and it's so jarring, you know, we just watched Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, which like also used the volume a lot.
Did it really?
It did.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so apparently they use the volume a ton in Quantumania, and it just does not work there, and it looks, I don't know, man, it just looks fucking bad. And then you go to this show and you're like, Jesus Christ, this show looks incredible. Like,
good.
Like all of these like big creatures that they fight, like, and like hell, even like Baby Yoda, like a lot of times is CG, which I'm sure you know you can't even
Yeah.
tell. He looks like a
Yeah.
fucking puppet the whole time, but a lot of times he's fucking CG. And
Yeah.
and the craziest part to me is, I don't know if you know this or not. Uh, he directed episode 2 of season 2, and the final episode of this season is Peyton Reed. He directed those
No,
2 episodes of The
I don't know.
Mandalorian. And if you don't know who that is, he
Uh-huh.
directed Ant-Man, he directed Ant-Man and the Wasp, and he directed Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Oh,
So
what?
I don't
Weird.
know how the fuck he went from this show to,
To Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
yeah, that one specifically. Like, I just don't know how the fuck. And
That is weird.
I did hear him talk in an interview recently where he's like, I think we overused the volume on Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yes, you don't say.
And he's like,
Yeah.
I thought I could use the stuff that I learned from Mandalorian on Ant-Man and the Wasp, and it just didn't translate right. And it's like, yeah, dude. Because
You gotta have practicals in there. I'm sure, like, there was one scene in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania that looked fine. Like, practicals versus digital. Everything else in that movie just does not compare to The Mandalorian. Like, man, it's so good. Like, The Mandalorian season 1 is like the best Star Wars there is. And then, The Mandalorian season 2 comes out and it makes it better. It's not often that you get a sequel that is better in movies or TV shows. Usually it gets worse and worse, which still could happen because they're still making them. So,
yeah, I to be honest, I'm a little nervous about Mandalorian season 3, just because of the quality of Disney stuff seems to have been going down over the past couple of years. So I don't know. I'm a little nervous, but this season was just so fucking good, and I think I like it more than the first season. Mainly, well, for one, the visuals are just like insane in this season. Like, it's just so fucking good. But
Yeah.
then also, there's so many memorable moments.
Yes.
But then the main thing for me is, I feel like the first season, like, this is not really a complaint, but something that people say about Mandalorian a lot, where it's like, oh, it's just side quests the show, which works because it's a fucking show. But like, I think what I liked about this one is it had more of a through line. It still had those side quests, but it had more of like, hey, we have a thing that we're trying to do, but we're doing these things along the way. Where the first one felt a little bit more aimless. And so I appreciate this one for that a lot more than the first season.
Yeah, like there was a clear thing that they were trying to do. Rather, in the first season, it was, stay away from the bounty hunters. Was pretty much what it was. It was like, let's go to this place and do a job and leave, and go to this place and do a job and leave. Whereas this one is like, okay, we have a goal that we have to accomplish.
Yep.
While also doing those other things that we did in the first one. And it does work out better in this one than it does in the first one. Yeah. But I fucking love the first one so much because of the fact that it was so, bop, 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 bop. And I think that really helps with like the changing of directors, where you get their different styles, you get their different stories. Maybe this story isn't as fleshed out as the other story, but the visuals are really good. Or maybe, this story is the characters are just beyond great, but the settings aren't very good. And I feel like that is Mandalorian season 1, where this one it works. Like, I felt like each director, they dove into it and went, this is everything that I can put into this episode. I'm going to do my best to put it in. And it works really well, and it all flows pretty good as well.
Yeah. All I have to say is, fucking put Jon Favreau in charge of Star Wars. Like, he needs to be the
the go-to guy.
He needs to be the Kevin Feige of Star Wars. Like, he needs to, because he wrote pretty much all of season 2 and he wrote pretty much all of season 1, and it's all just really good stuff. Even like, despite even who the director is, it doesn't even matter. It's just like the writing's so good, it doesn't even matter.
It captures the essence of Star Wars for all Star Wars fans. It's not like J.J. Abrams sort of Rian Johnson, where they're like, I'm going to change Star Wars and make it different. You know, especially Rian Johnson in that regard. He's like, anybody can be a Jedi. It's like, no, you don't fuck with that. This is not like, you can tell a story, but the world has already been built. You can't retcon that. Like, step off, right? And I think that's why people get upset about the sequels, is because a lot of their toes were stepped on with the sequels, whereas this one like gingerly, like, oh, excuse me, I'm just gonna step over you, and I'm wearing this really cool T-shirt that you're like, oh shit, where'd you get that T-shirt? And then you make a friend in the movie theater, and they're not stepping on your toes to get to their seat. You know what I mean? That's a pretty weird fucking. That's a pretty weird fucking like.
That was pretty weird.
But you know, like, I feel like Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams like stepped on the series in like kind of not necessarily like a bad way, just like not so respectful way. Like, they weren't as respectful as they should have been.
I almost feel like they were stepping on each other's toes, right? Like
that too. Well, that too.
Like,
but
J.J.
you know,
Abrams, his first movie was like, it was like, okay, like I really like it, but like I could see why, you know, it just really sets things up that don't have answers yet, and it's like, okay, we'll leave it to the next guy to figure that out. And then Rian Johnson was like, well, fuck that, I'm not doing any of that, I'm doing something else. And then J.J. Abrams came back for the final film, and he said, well, fuck what you're doing, I'm going back to what I was doing. And so like that just sort of made this like jumbled mess of a sequel trilogy, where this is like pretty much all Jon Favreau, and when it's not Jon Favreau, it's Dave Filoni,
which is also a fucking rock star.
Well, and they're like very close partners, and they're both showrunners on the show, and the only time they really sort of deviate away from that is when they know there's somebody like Rick Fumiaki. I can't pronounce his last name, I'm sorry. Famuyiwa. I don't know. He does a great job. He did episode 7 of this season, and it's a great fucking episode. It's just they had a cemented idea of like, who is Mandalorian? Who is this guy? We kind of know what's going on with Baby Yoda. I'm sure they have an idea for like what season 3, what's going on with Baby Yoda. I know you're not supposed to say Baby Yoda. Grogu. I'm sure they have an idea for what's going on with him. And then, you know, and even recently, Jon Favreau said, you know, season 3 comes out, this week or next week or something? And
this week.
And he's like, we already have season 4 written because we wanted to know where we're going next in this show.
Oh yeah. So that's the way to do it, right?
Yeah. And they didn't even do that with the sequel trilogy. And I think that's why The Mandalorian works so well compared to the sequel trilogy. You know, Rian Johnson could have stepped all over the original trilogy as long as it had, as long as it had a through line. I think we all would have been like, oh, okay. You know, I think we all would have come back around on it or something, but it was just the flip-floppy nature of those movies.
Of that trilogy in its contained form. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Where this is like very much has a consistent tone that it deviates a little bit here and there just to like tell different stories or whatever. Like, you know, but
I like the tone shifts. That's one of my favorite parts about this series is the tone shifts, because you get the directors who have a vision and they're like, I want a little peaceful thing. I want like a jailbreak and it's got to look like this. And, you know, the one that Dave Filoni did with Ahsoka Tano, where it's like The Last Samurai and it's very like gritty and real. It's like I like that. I like the fact that we get little flavors, to sample. It's like a little sampler.
Yeah,
I
or
love that, but
one
it's still the
with
same story.
the one with Bill Burr, where it was almost like a heist movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
that
exactly.
episode is so fucking good too. Like,
Can I ask what your favorite episode is, since you recently watched most of them, all of them? Do you have a favorite episode of the season?
I
Do you
think
have a list up?
I do. I think it's a tie
Okay.
between that one, the one where they do the heist, and the one with Ahsoka. I think those two are like
Okay.
top tier for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are good picks. I
The
also
first
like the
episode's really
Marshall.
awesome. Yeah.
The first one is so good too. But I think my favorite one is the one with Bill Burr in it.
Yeah.
Episode 7. That's so good. And the shift in the characters and the progression of, the Mandalorian in that is just fantastic. It's so good. You don't have Grogu in it either, which is like its own challenge in this series, because people fucking love Grogu, right? And it's like, oh yeah, you got to keep the baby safe, but this is like, the baby's not here. You gotta do this on your own, and you gotta act without the puppet, without him drawing the focus from you to like make it. I feel like that's a harder episode to actually create, because you don't have the comic relief. I know that's not what Grogu is, but like you don't have that cute moment where you can go, I don't know what to do in this situation. We'll just have Grogu go in there and fix the ship, kind of thing. And that was fucking adorable too, by the way. That like opening scene of this,
Yeah.
where he's like, no, the red wire,
And then he gets
the blue wire, and he gets electrocuted. Yeah. It's fucking adorable.
Yeah, what they did with Bill Burr's character is insane. For one, like Bill Burr isn't known for being like a fucking amazing actor, but here he is like doing a great job. And
and you get to see the inside of like a real Imperial, like what goes on.
Yeah.
And like the Imperial heroes. It's like, wow, it's so cool. It's very cool to see the flip of the coin. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. It's also like the whole time he's like, Mandalorian, take your fucking mask off. What are you doing? And to see him sort of like you come
understand.
He sort of understands him by the end, but also you kind of understand him and why he's telling Mandalorian to take his mask off, because he wore that mask for so long. Yeah. It was a different mask, but like, he did the
same.
Yeah. And he's actually trying to tell Mandalorian, he's like, dude, you're wasting your time with that. Like, just live your life, man. So like, I love that there's like sort of a duality in that whole thing, where it's not just like he's kind of right, he's being a dickhead about it, but like he's kind of right. And but Mandalorian's also right, because he's like, dude, who are you to tell me anything? Like, you're kind of a bad guy. I don't know. I love the intricacies of that episode. It's really fucking good. But also the first episode is just really fucking good too, because it cements that like this is a Western sort of thing.
It comes back to the Western roots of like Western bounty hunters and stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that actor, I don't know his name. I really like him. The guy who
the Boba Fett fake out.
Yeah. I really like him. He was cool. I will say, and I said it for the first season, and I'm gonna say it again right now. Some of the side characters in this show have some questionable acting, but it's not. I feel like it's worse.
I feel like you are going to say it's Timothy Oliphant, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He's great.
I feel like you're going to say one character, and I am very much going to disagree with you. But
I feel like it was worse in the first season than it was in this season. But there are some like, I can't even think of like specific character. It's literally like side characters that are just sort of there for a second that say some lines that are like, "Hey, he is over there," and it's like you could tell that dude had one shot to get that line right because they have so much on their plate that they're trying to get through.
Yeah.
Amy Sedaris is like barely
Oh,
in the
I knew
show.
it. I knew it. I
I,
knew it.
I think she's fucking terrible. I'm sorry,
Oh
dude.
my
I know
god, I
I'm in
think
the
she's
minority.
great, dude. I think she's great. She fills a certain spot in Star Wars for me. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think she's great. I love her little droids. I love her relationship with Grogu. She's like a little like daycare. She's like a daycare mechanic who cooks fried eggs while smoking a cigarette. I don't know. I really like it.
Yeah. I get it. I know why people like her, but um what's the guy is it Bobby Moynihan played? Oh no, it was Horatio Sands. That character, the like fish man.
Oh yeah.
He was in the first season too.
Yeah, he was in the first season. You thought he was bad too?
I think he's pretty bad. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like
No.
I just feel like it's like over the top
No.
jokey. Is like I don't know. I don't need that.
That's well, I mean you have to have that though. Otherwise it wouldn't be Star Wars.
I guess. I'll give you that. I think it's a lot better in this one. And like I think even what's her butt? Mrs. Ben Shapiro. I thought she was a lot better in this season than the first season.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I wonder how they handle that in the next season. I guess they just pretend to
They'll just get rid of her.
they
Well,
just-
because she joins the rebellion or the republic or whatever.
Right.
So I think she's just gonna be gone and like, oh yeah, Cara Dune is out there fighting a good fight, and that's kind of where they're gonna leave it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you really don't need her.
No.
But I'm excited. I'm excited for season 3, dude. I don't know if I like this as much as I liked Andor, but it's good. In fact, let's talk about that. I got to pull it up though. Hold on.
Pull it up then.
Star Wars.
Pull it. It's called Lonercast Live Action Star Wars Ranking List.
There it is. I found it. And
Found it.
React. Oh God, that's a video game capture. Hold on, we're almost there. We're making it work.
Almost. You're getting there.
We've got to change the properties. We've changed the properties.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's the chat. There it is. Okay. We got it. All right.
Man. It's like learning to ride a bike.
We're professionals over here. All right, you want me to read these?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh my God, this is a fucking wild list. Haven't read this in a while. All right, at number 1 is Andor. At number 2 is The Mandalorian Season 1. At number 3 is Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. Number 4 is Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. 5 is Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. 6 is Episode 4, A New Hope. 7 is Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. 8 is Obi-Wan Kenobi. 9 is Solo, A Star Wars Story. 10 is Episode 1, Phantom Menace. 11 is Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. I don't hate the list. It's just kind of weird.
It's kind of weird, man. It is very weird.
I don't hate it. Like,
But you know it's great. We have like separation between oh there we go. We have separation between like the prequels, the sequels. Oh, we don't have the sequels, but we have separation between the prequels and the original trilogy, which I find kind of funny. Like episode 1 and 2 are at the bottom of the list, separated by a couple of things. Episode 3 and 4 are at the middle of the list, separated by a couple of things. Episode 5 and 6 are at the top of the list. It's just like that. Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't like fully disagree with this list. I think I'd put the originals higher just because I'm that
just
guy.
Yeah.
I'm just that guy, But that's nostalgia. It's got to be nostalgia.
It's nostalgia.
They're great movies though too. Come on now.
I mean, I love all the movies in their own ways.
Where would you rank this?
I would put it number 1. I think I would put it number 1 because Andor is great, but I think this is better.
I think Andor's better.
Oh man, you think Andor's better?
I do, man. I do. I just love the characters of Andor, and I'm like, and that, like I said about the through line is way more clear in Andor, and like, I don't know. I just
There's so many through lines in Andor though.
sure, but
Where this is one single through line.
I guess, but it is really just side quests and stuff. I'm not saying that's bad. Don't
No,
get me
yeah.
wrong. I just feel like I don't know, man. Andor just like spoke to me in a very serious way.
That's cool. We can put it at number 2. I'm cool with that.
I mean, we could put it at number 1. I don't care.
I don't mind, man. I don't mind.
Fuck it. Let's put it at number 1. I don't care. There
Okay.
you go.
All right, you made the decision. You want me to write it out?
Yeah. You got this. Look at that. Beautiful.
There you go.
Oh man, I can't wait for season 3 though. But I am like so excited for Andor season 2. Like that shit gets me.
Well, that's a ways off though.
That shit gets me rock hard just thinking about
Mandalorian season 2 comes out in 2 days. So.
Oh, dude, we got a couple of Star Wars shows coming out this year, right? We got the Skeleton Crew show coming out.
We got Visions.
Oh yeah, Visions, which
I'm super excited about.
Yeah,
because it's this is a live action one.
Yeah. What else is there? Skeleton Crew, Ahsoka. Does that come out this year?
I believe so. Star Wars in 2023, The Bad Batch season 2, The Mandalorian season 3, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Star Wars Young Jedi Adventure. It's a new series focusing on younglings from the High Republic era. Keep in mind, this show is intended for younglings, preschool through grade school. So
yeah, gotcha.
That's cool.
It's like the littles.
Yeah, the little ones. We got Star Wars Visions Volume 2 and Star Wars Ahsoka, Star Wars Skeleton Crew. That looks like that's it. Andor season 2 is coming later.
That's next year.
Next year.
Skeleton Crew is like that's the one that takes place.
It's got Jude Law in it.
Yeah, that one's like pre episode 1, right? Like that's the prequel one, right?
Like Star Wars Universe's Stranger Things. Seriously, there's not much information on this show yet.
Okay. Maybe I'm getting it mixed up with something.
Amblin-esque coming of age story about a group of kids lost in space around the time frame of The Mandalorian. It was initially codenamed Grammar Rodeo.
Okay. Well, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking of then. I don't know.
I don't know what you're thinking of either.
I swear there's another one of those shows that's coming out that's like pre episode 1. That's what I want. I want more of that shit. I want some High Republic stuff. I'm into that stuff.
Well, there's
High
Acolytes, Star Wars Acolyte.
That's probably the one I'm thinking of. Because I think
it's the end of the High Republic era. So yeah, it's a mystery thriller promises to show the rise of the dark side of the Force.
Yeah. There were some set footage leaked of that, and I was like, oh my god, this looks insane, and I'm so into it. Just lightsabers everywhere. Your favorite thing, Nick? Just so many lightsabers, dude.
My favorite thing. Just completely take Star Wars and boil it down to light sticks.
That's all I care about, baby.
Oh god, I hate that. It's like I like lightsabers. Like when I was a kid, fucking lightsabers were the coolest thing. But I feel like it's so cheap. They're just such a cheap. Like it's just like, oh look, light shiny stick, and that's right. It's like
that's right.
Just pulls your ADHD.
And I'm a cheap date, dude. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
All you got to do is you saw when we were talking about humanity earlier. That game, they pull out those lightsabers in that game.
Yeah,
I'm in.
Yeah, and they shoot each other. Yeah,
I'm in, dude. That's all I want. No more heroes. I only like that game because it has lightsabers. That's it.
Yeah. Yep.
No, Acolyte seems cool.
That's why you go to raves too.
Yeah, I'm a huge raver. Everyone knows this.
That's you.
That's me. That's me. I was the Techno Viking, actually.
Oh shit.
That was me.
The one that stormed the Capitol?
Did he storm the Capitol? I thought he was like German or something.
The Moose Man.
That's
No, yeah, you got Techno Viking, and then you got Moose Man.
yeah, Moose Man. Yeah, Acolyte though, I'm into it. That kind of bumps me out though, hearing that it's like probably not coming out till next year.
It's a ways away.
Yeah. That's too bad. But it's good. Take your time. Make it good.
Yes.
Get those effects.
Yes, please.
Get those effects in.
I'm into it if it's live action or not kitty. That's the whole reason I don't watch Clone Wars, Rebels, the other one, because I can only be like shoved, like morals can only be shoved down my throat so often. It's like, okay, yes, I get be a good person. I get what Yoda's saying in his teachings to Ahsoka. I don't need it every single episode of
it's just like those shows' target demo was like 8-year-olds. So like,
yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like I'm missing out because there's some cool elements in those shows,
there's
especially
there's lists online where it's like, just watch these ones,
Yeah.
Which I've never done, but I should.
Yeah.
I have
there's still long lists.
Don't get
me wrong.
I have started the Clone Wars so many times. It's ridiculous. And then I just stop because I'm like,
And then it's just too meant for children.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had a kid, sure. If I had a kid, the kid wanted to watch it, yeah.
I watched all of season 1 of Rebels, and then I was like, I can't keep doing it. I can't do it.
Yeah, I think I watched all of season 1 of the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I just didn't give anything else a shot. Well, I did give Bad Batch a shot. I watched a few episodes of that, and I'm like, okay, this is just too long.
I've heard that one's like legitimately like not that good.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard that's like one of the weaker ones. What is fucking great though was the original Clone Wars. The Gendy.
But we were the demographic at that point.
Dude, go back and watch some of that shit though. The animation is just so sick. It's so
different. It is very different.
Yeah, it's like, hey, it's Samurai Jack, but Star Wars. Sick.
But Star Wars, it looked cool.
Yeah.
But all that's retconned. All that is not canon anymore.
Oh, come on, fucking Fishman. Let's leave Fishman canon. What's his name? Kit Fisto.
Kit Fisto. Yeah, Kit Fisto.
He's so cool in that show.
The General Grievous versus Mace Windu fight.
Yeah.
In that show, which is really cool.
Dude, Kit Fisto like fights people underwater. It's so sick.
I'm sure that happened.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's still canon, but we'll never see it.
Yeah, maybe we will one day. Oh, you know what? Fuck. We didn't bring this up. Luke Skywalker, he looked fucking terrible.
Yes, he did.
He looked terrible. I don't know why they did that.
But after that happened, they hired the guys that made him look better in Book of Boba Fett. So, that's one thing that Star Wars does is put their foot forward in like the newest technology, and they're like, we're gonna fucking try it. We're gonna this deep fake shit, we're gonna try it. And then, somebody went, well, I could do that better. And they spent time on it. And now those guys work for the light. What is it called? What is Electric Light Orchestra?
Industrial Lights and Magic or whatever.
That's the one. Yeah. So now they ILM. And so they have a job. And that's why he still doesn't look perfect in the Book of Boba Fett, but he looks much better than he did in especially like the top half of his face.
Yeah, it's pretty rough, man. I kind of wish, I'm not the first one to say it. I wish they just hired Sebastian Stan.
Yep.
He looks
just
like
anybody. Well,
just dye his hair blonde. He looks perfect.
I agree. They shouldn't have digitaled his face. Digitaled his face. I feel like you could just take any actor that looks close to him. Sebastian Stan's a great choice for that.
Yeah.
Put a wig on him and just,
Well, especially if you have intentions to like keep using him in future projects,
100%.
Just get an actor who can do it. And I feel like Sebastian Stan's perfect because he's like a perfect age for that aged Luke. And he looks the part and people like him. you know? So
Yeah.
people will
Yeah.
give him more of a pass than like some random actor like they did with Han Solo.
Yeah. That poor guy.
We've already
He did
kind
a
of
good job.
swallowed the bullet too on like having new actors play the guys. Like, you know, you've already crossed that territory with Lando and Han. So
Yeah. That's true. But that movie wasn't well received at the beginning.
yeah,
So
but it wasn't.
I'm sure they don't really want to make a mistake like that again.
It certainly wasn't like Donald Glover's fault though. Like people really liked him
No.
as
Yeah.
so.
Well,
Like
I liked the Han Solo guy too.
I felt like he didn't really feel like Han Solo at all. But I don't know.
Han Solo isn't a character. I hate when people say that Han Solo is a character. He's Harrison Ford.
Okay, Harrison Ford is a character.
Yeah, but like that's all Harrison Ford is Harrison. Like, it's like, yeah. And I saw something on Reddit that was like,
He just didn't have the swag. Dude.
what,
He didn't have the swag.
I saw something like, would you still like Star Wars if Harrison Ford Harrison Ford was actually cut from the rest of it? I'm like, yeah, Harrison Ford does nothing for the movie. He does nothing.
Dude, come on.
He was hired to do a job. That's all. Like if he had no relationship with Leia, I don't think it would matter. You know, like
dude, it's such a huge part of the movie though, and it adds like so much.
Yeah, it is, but I don't think it would be necessary.
It
I
adds
think
so
it would
much
have been
humanity
just
to
fine.
this like ridiculous space opera thing, though. I think.
That's my Wookiee sound.
He's a good character. I like him. He needed more swag though, and I feel like that kid that played him like just didn't have the swag. He didn't have that Harrison Ford swag, you know?
Yeah, but you can't really get that Harrison Ford swag.
But also, like, if Han Solo showed up in one of these shows and it was like some digital fucking Harrison Ford, I'd prefer the guy who played him in the movie.
Yes.
Now at this point,
100%.
just bring that guy back.
Yep.
Now it would just be weird.
Aaron Eidman or Eichmann or whatever his name is.
Alden Ehrenreich or whatever. Is that his name?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Han Solo.
He's a fine actor.
Alden Ehrenreich.
Yeah.
You got it right. Nice.
That's right, bitch. He's still out there. He's still doing things.
He's still doing things. I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing things.
Movies.
Let's see. What's his IMDb say? He's in Cocaine Bear.
Oh, dude. Nice. I gotta see that one.
Yeah, that's his newest shit. He did Brave New World, the TV series, Fair Play, which comes out this year, and Cocaine Bear. So
Cocaine
it
Bear?
looks like he took 2 years off to do a TV show for 9 episodes, and then went back into movies with Fair Play and Cocaine Bear. What is Fair Play?
I feel like Cocaine Bear is a bit of a comeback story for a few people, because Elizabeth Banks directed it.
I have not seen anything on Cocaine Bear.
Oh, people really like it. They think it's really funny.
Really?
People are into it, yeah. And if you don't remember, Elizabeth Banks made that Charlie's Angels movie a few years ago that people absolutely fucking hated.
Hold on. Isn't Ray Liotta dead?
Yeah. This must be a posthumous performance, huh? How about that?
How? Wow, that's crazy.
He must barely be in the movie.
Maybe. Or they digitally did something to him.
Oh, God.
It looks like, I think this is the guy from Modern Family, isn't it, too? Yeah. The ginger gay guy from Modern Family, isn't it, as well?
Oh, yeah. Jesse Tyler Ferguson. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that it has that one TikTok guy, too. The guy that's like, he always does those TikToks that's like, if you show up to work late, or if you show up to work on time, that's actually late. Then he's like, well, fire me then. Those are like his TikToks.
Oh, he's in that? Really?
Yeah. He's like, well,
That's
fire
awesome.
me then. And then plays the music or whatever.
Scott Cease. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott Cease. That's his name.
Yeah, he has a very recognizable style on TikTok.
Yes.
I love that our fucking spoiler cast has now just turned into talking about Cocaine Bear,
Well,
but that's all right.
I figured you would cut it off. I figured you'd cut it off at
Oh
this
no,
point.
this
but
is still part of the fucking spoiler cast.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry, everybody.
Because we were talking about Star Wars and Aaron Reich and all that stuff. But Scott Cease, he'd be a good Han Solo.
No, make him a different character with same mustache, same personality. I think he doesn't need to be Han Solo. He can be somebody else.
Dude, have him be the Mandalorian's brother, just because they both have mustaches.
They both have mustaches.
Yes,
that's the theme. That's the thing going around. Mustachioed men. They're coming back.
It's in, dude. It's in.
The days of I can't think of a mustachioed man in the 80s.
Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck is one. Yes, there was another one too.
Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds. That was the one I had in my head. Yes, the mustachioed men are coming back.
Yes, it's hard to pull off, dude. I've tried. I always I'm
gonna do it for my wedding. I'm just gonna grow my mustache out and not tell Danielle, and then be like, yeah, I'll shave it off, and then
you've always been the opposite of that though, where like
I know I always shave off the mustache.
Yeah, every time I shave my beard, I always shave off my beard first and like try out the mustache, and I'm just like, I look fucking ridiculous. I look
doesn't work.
Fucking crazy. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's the spoiler cast though.
Great. Great. Got him.